Hello and welcome to this new section on robotics process automation in this course, AI in operations management. So in this section, we will give you some good idea of how can you use robotic process automation using AI in process optimization and automation in operations. And let us begin this lecture by talking about what is RPA. Let us precisely define what is robotic process automation. So, as we saw earlier while introducing this whole section, that robotic process automation automates repetitive tasks like invoicing, procurement, and inventory management. So, how does robotic process automation automate these repetitive tasks like invoicing, procurement, and inventory management? So, before we do that, let's understand some basics. So, RPA, robotic process automation, is a powerful tool for automating repetitive rule-based tasks, especially in operations management. So in operations management, you have many repetitive and rule-based tasks that it can automate. It acts like a digital worker that mimics the human beings, human actions across systems, right? But faster, error-free, and 24/7. So that's the beauty of RPA. It supplements the human being's work in terms of automating what is repetitive. So let's break down and see how does RPA automated each of these tasks like invoicing, procurement, and inventory management. Let us take a look at that. So before we do that, let's define what is RPA. Now, RPA uses software bots, right? These are the bots that you see here that click on the buttons, extract data, fill out the forms, send emails, and move files very much like human beings. And all this happens without changing your existing systems like SAP, Oracle, Excel, etc. So it precisely works like human beings. So that's RPA. Now let's take a look at how does the invoicing automation happens. What can RPA do? You know, the tasks RPA can handle in invoicing automation is like things like extracting invoice data from the emails, whether they are in a PDF file or an Excel file, validate invoice fields, typically invoice of the vendor. So you have vendor ID, PO number, that can be, and here we are talking of the invoice of the vendor, right, in supply chain. So it validates those invoice fields. Second is matches invoice with the purchase order. All the people who are from operations would know there is something called three-way match, in which you, before making the payment, you match the purchase order with the receipt and one more thing with the warehouse receipts, right? So you match the three-way this purchase order. So it does that. Second, you enter invoice number, the vendor invoice number in ERP and accounting systems like SAP, QuickBooks, and if there are discrepancies or exceptions, you flag them. It flags them. Then it sends approval requests for and confirmation emails. So that's how the tasks are done by the robotic bots in the system for invoicing automation. What are the benefits of this? What it does is it offers, 90% faster processing, fewer human errors, and uh, real-time status tracking. So these are the benefits over a person, human beings doing. So faster, fewer errors, and real-time status tracking because it can do 24/7, right? Human beings can't do 24, not one person. You need three of them or at least two of them to do that. Second area that we can take a look at is the procurement automation. What are the tasks that RPA can handle? It can do vendor onboarding, right? Form filling, documents check. It can request for code, RFQ generation, and distribution to possible vendors. It can extract supplier codes and compare them, right? Like very much like humans do. It can create purchase orders, POs in the ERP system, and track delivery status and updating, and finally generate the procurement report. Now, what benefits does this procurement automation by bots have over what we do today manually? It streamlines the procurement cycle, right? Because you can do systematically whatever you want to do, and there are not going to be any errors. There are improved compliance and accuracy to the procurement cycle. It exactly does what you want it to do. And third, there are reduced manual back and forth. So those are the benefits of procurement automation by the bots. The third thing that where these bots can do is the inventory management automation. And let's take a look at what are the tasks RPA can handle. It can monitor stock levels of the materials, raw materials, packing material, whatever you have that you want to procure. And it can monitor the reorder points to decide when should it can determine based on the data that you can feed. Then it automatically triggers restock requests or purchase orders, right? And then updates the stock levels in ERP or inventory systems. Reconcile physical stock with the system data. Very important, it can do that. Once you feed the physical stock, it can do that. And generates daily, weekly stock reports and alerts team about low, high stocks or anomalies. So that's what the bots can do in inventory management. So what are the benefits of this? First, reduce stockouts and overstocking, which is the perennial problem in operations management. Either you have too much or you're doing too little. So it can help you sort that perpetual problem. Second, faster decision making because it's a bot. It doesn't take too much time to think. Once you feed the rule, it quickly calculates and acts on. Then it results in more accurate inventory records that improves your service to production or even to customers. So that's how the inventory automation happens in RPA. So let's take a look at some example of tools used in RPA. The very common one used is UiPath. Then there is Automation Anywhere. Then there's Blue Prism. Then Power Automate of Microsoft. And then there is Ninetimes. So these are the commonly used tools for RPA. So let's look at what more can you do by combining RPA with artificial intelligence, and that results in what is called intelligent automation. So let's take a look at that. If you combine RPA with OCR, object recognition, right? It can read scanned invoices. Then, if you have a RPA, you combine with a chatbot, you can automate internal service requests. And if you combine a RPA with a machine learning program, then it can predict demand and reorder smarter. Right. So these are some bonuses of combining RPA with artificial intelligence, other components of artificial intelligence for intelligent automation. So what is next? So having looked at, what is RPA and how it works in brief, what we will do is we will look at a little more deeper into how does RPA use, the software bots to do those functions it does, like clicking button, extracting data, filling out forms, sending emails, and moving files, etc. So thank you so much for watching this first lecture on robotics process automation. In this course, AI in Operations Management, I hope you're continuing to learn new things, continuing to enjoy, and I do look forward to see you again in the next lecture. Please feel free to message me if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer your questions and do download the PDF file to take a look at anything that you need.